Hello guys, welcome back to awesomewebdesigns.ca. In this video today, we're going to talk about Swift Performance, the cache plugin right now. From my personal opinion, the best plugin you can get for free in the market. Um, as I know that this is like a really like relatively new plugin, and because of that there's not a lot of like documentation on how to and tutorials on how to actually set up this plugin. I'm just going to share the settings that I have created in order to actually achieve the results that you're currently seeing in this screen. As you can see in awesomewebdesign.ca, I currently have a loaded time for the website, for the homepage, that is below 2 seconds, and a page size that is below 1 MB. Pretty much any website that has those numbers below 2 seconds and below 1 MB for page size, it's considered as speed, a fast loading website. So how to get to this point without actually breaking your site, which is like the most complex thing. I'm gonna go step by step telling you what are the steps required to do that. So let's start. So the first thing is, once you have installed your plugin already, you will see that it gives you the option of doing an automatic setup, and you can definitely do that. It's something that is really easy to go through those steps, but you will see that by using the wizard, this automatic setup of the plugin, you won't get the results that I have shown you before. So in order to actually tweak this plugin to achieve the best you can from it, this is what you gotta do. If we go here, the first option we find here under general tweaks, we find that I have activated normalize static resources. This, as it says, is pretty simple. It will help you remove unnecessary query strings from CSS and JavaScript and image files. So definitely activate that. You won't have any problem. I normally don't suggest to activate the Gravatar cache unless you actually has it's mainly if you have a page that is fully based on your blog and you use a lot of Gravatars from users because they are leaving comments, then it's something that you might consider doing. But in case that you have more like an informational site or an e-commerce site and you don't have a lot of comments from your users and readers, you can leave this deactivated because it won't really change much. If we go here under Google Analytics, you will also see that you have the option to activate the bypass of Google Analytics. What does it mean? This means pretty much that instead of loading the script of Google Analytics that is right now, I assume, included in the head of your website through Google Tag Manager, or just like by actually including the code right within your cPanel. This gives you the option of like loading it differently through the plugin and later, so it kind of like save a little bit of time when loading the website. I personally haven't included it just because it have generated some conflicts in my site, not being able to track everything well, all the information that I want to track from my users. But if you find that this works on your site, I could definitely suggest you guys to activate it because it will save you some seconds. So at the end, everything by putting everything together and gaining second by seconds, or like even milliseconds by milliseconds, you will have a good performance. So if you can, definitely do that. Let's go now under media. In the media here we have these options that you're going to see I have activated. I haven't activated inline small images, which is pretty much just like another way of like compressing somehow the images. I personally don't do that because it creates some kind of like weird visuals on my image in the front end. And and to be fair, I'm quite happy with the current compressor that I'm using, that is Smash. I will show you later which one is exactly, and that is really compatible with this plugin. So I didn't consider activating that. I ran my test and it didn't actually change anything in the speed performance, so that's why I didn't activate it. I personally activated the lazy load, which what it does is like it loads lower quality of the images at the beginning when the users land on your page, and then later it loads a better quality. So it kind of like does it in different steps. This really helps the performance of your speed in the website. So I suggest you activate that. If for any case you realize that there are certain images like header images that you want to have like the full quality from the beginning, and it looks weird when you activate lazy load, and also your website is like purely based on visuals. It has a lot of images and more than text. What you can do is just like simply here adding the URLs that you can find in your media, and add it there and save it, and you will see that those images won't be lazy loaded. I also activated this option here, which works really well when you activate the lazy load, and also save me a few seconds when loading the page. And now let's go maybe to the most important part of plugin, which is the scripts and the merge scripts and the merge of the styles. And this one is actually especially confusing because they don't have a lot of documentation on how to actually work on this. And this the section that is most likely the one that is going to break your site. If you work with page builders, like for example, I work with Vivo Builder, most likely this is going to break your site. So pay all your full attention to this section here. So regarding the optimization, as you can see, I haven't activated the pre-build only and the optimize in the background. This is something that can really like pretty much these decisions are not only based on like purely speed performance, but also in servers performance. And some of these options will increase the use of your servers. And if you don't have like a huge, you're not using a huge server, and you don't want to just like over use that and get certain alerts from your hosting provider, I definitely suggest you don't activate these options. It won't definitely change much in your speed performance. In regards of the Minify HTML, I haven't activated it just because I use Cloudflare, and Cloudflare already does it. So if you're using any CDN like Cloudflare that already does this for you, definitely deactivate this option. But if you're not using any CDN, I would suggest you activate the Minify HTML. In regards of emojis, well, if you definitely don't use any emojis on your site, I would suggest you activate it. I personally use it, and I rather be able to like, for especially for CTRs, I like using emojis. Have run some tests, and I see that there is a better user experience when people see those emojis, so I rather have them. So the end is just look kind of like having a good balance between what you want to achieve with your speed performance, but also how you want your users to behave and to interact on your website. So that's why I personally haven't activated that option. But you can do it, and it will definitely help you to load your website faster. You can just run your own test, and you will see the differences. In regards of the simultaneous threads, this is again something that you want to do if you have limited hosting, like a shared hosting, like it says over there. So you can limit the number of errors, so it doesn't over create actions and request on your server side. I personally didn't activate it. I don't need it. But if you guys see that your server is kind of like getting to the limit and you are not getting a good, your website is not working as smooth as it should, I would suggest you activate that option. And now let's move to the two main things here. So as you can see, I activated the merge of the JavaScript strings, and that is one of the actions that is going to reduce by a lot the speed of your website. But however, as soon as you activate this action, you will see that your website most likely is gonna break, mainly on the animations that you have that you're running through JavaScript. Animations are also like pop-ups, drop-downs, menus, etc., etc. Certain like interactions that are run with JavaScript. You have to be careful, and you have to just double check that that you exclude all the scripts that you want to be able to load at the beginning, so your users can see the website functioning 100%. In my case, this is the easiest for everybody that is using WordPress, which are these options. You only have to exclude all the JavaScript content that comes from the WP content folder and the WP includes. So that pretty much takes almost all the main strings that your site is using. And what it will exclude is like third-party JavaScripts and kind of like more secondary ones. So by doing this, you will see that you will be on a 95% sure that your website is going to be working fine. I would say please double check also your mobile version, even if you think that your desktop version of your website is working well after doing this setup. Just double check your mobile, and if it works well, you will see, guys, that as soon as you do this, it's gonna go, your website is gonna go way faster. I also minified the JavaScript options, as you can see here, but I didn't exclude anything else, and this already made me achieve the results that you saw before. In regards of the styles, there, I would say, yeah, like three main options here. Once you activate the styles, you will also see that your site is going to break, most likely if you use page builders like Vivo Builder or WP Bakery or Elementor. This is really important for these websites. So what you have to do here is activate the printful CSS inline, this option over here. If you actually, guys, know how to actually create your critical CSS style sheet, you can even go ahead, and this is as easy, and activate this, and you can generate your critical CSS here. What this will allow you is pretty much, it takes the most important CSS modifications that you have implemented on your style sheet and loads it over here, and then later it loads the rest of the CSS. I haven't used this action here because I personally generated through a different way. But if you guys feel like you're comfortable using this, I would suggest you guys go ahead. There are like many websites online that will create your critical CSS online, and they will explain 100% how this works. But again, this is not going to be a big change. It's going to be most important just the printful CSS inline and the bypass CSS import, and as well as minify your CSS with the option basic. Okay. If you see that certain styles are, getting broken because of the options that you have taken here, is as easy again as just like finding the exact CSS that you want to exclude, and you only have to include it here, like for example animate CSS. And you must be wondering, how can you actually do this? How can you find those JavaScript and strings and CSS strings? Well, if you use GT metrics, or you also could use Google Speed Insights, I personally recommend you use GT metrics for your performance and Google Page Speed Insights in order to find your strings, just because I find that they are more accurate. But over here, you could just pretty much like go to like the different results that you have, and you will see that, for example, one of the options that is telling me is like I could still reduce more. No, I already got like a 99 score, but if we're gonna get 100, I could even reduce more my CSS strings. So I can see that right here I'm finding all the strings. So for example, there is one suggested from Cloudflare, created by Cloudflare. So this is a third-party string, and it could be just as easy as just like selecting foundation icons.css, and I'm adding it over here, and it will exclude that style right away. And what it will do is pretty much like load that CSS from the beginning without merging it. Okay, so you only just have to go to one of these page performance reports, and you will have a full list of all the strings that your website is generating, and that will allow you to actually add here the ones that you need. Finally, let's move forward to the caching option. So here, the one thing that you have to do is obviously enable the caching. The best use of the three options that you have here, the fastest one is going to be this cache with rewrite. This one is definitely the one that I have tried, and it gives me the best results. And also activating the early loader. And just make sure that your path is a correct one, because it could create some issues with your pretty much like database. If you don't have the correct path, it could create having like a database that is accumulating garbage literally on your with metadata there. So just make sure that this string is correct, and these are the options that you definitely want to use. Time-based mode, which is perfect for WordPress themes built with Viva Builder. Um, 12 hours for your cache expiry time, and 30 minutes of garbage collection interval. Everything else you can leave it as it is, except these two options here, that is enable browser cache and enable gzip. Enable gzip, most likely you will see that in GTmetrix it will require some extra settings to be able to see those results. This is really simple. This is something that is as easy as you activate these. I would suggest, guys, depending on your hosting provider, you can contact their support and ask them how you can activate the compression, which is something they will guide you really easily. For example, I use SiteGround, and it's as easy as just like open a ticket for them, telling them what is exactly the code that you need to add in or in your htaccess file, and once you add it, this will work efficiently. I wouldn't suggest to activate the cache for 404 pages, because this is again is going to create a lot of garbage on your database. It's going to increase the use of your service, so you don't need that. The same for the dynamic cache. And in regards of your Ajax cache expiry time, you can leave it as 1440, and this is everything you have to do over here. Again, if you see that you want to do more tests and tweak some options here, feel free to do that. But with this, you're going to get a really, really good performance already. Let's go here to the rest of the options. Tweaks, there's nothing else. You just leave it like that. And exceptions. This is also really important, because one of the most amazing things that this plugin is bringing is the warm-up tables, which is something that none of the most important cache plugins like Hummingbird or WP Rocket has in a free version, even in some of them in the premium version. So here, pretty much what you're saying is like, what are the pages that you don't want your plugin to cache, and don't like waste server time and server size and load on that. So you only just have to select the ones, the post types that you don't want your plugin to pretty much like spend time on that. In my case, I selected all the theme templates, plugin templates, WP form templates, anything that you find that is secondary and doesn't really belong to the main pages and posts that I have created, as well as, for example, certain streams, even pages that I'm not indexing, and I don't really, having a fast page performance, you want it so it can index in Google, but mainly it can get a better ranking on Google. No, like you want to increase your um, search results performance. So if you are not indexing certain pages, as could be my sitemap page, then there is no point in actually allowing your plugin to cache that page. The same way could be with your terms and condition page, your privacy policy, etc., etc. Once you have finished that configuration, for example, here you have the option for this is just like, again, getting rid of certain URL strings, and here anything that contains the word sitemap or thank you page, for example. But here is also, this is really important. You want to exclude all the archives, feed URLs that are generated, and author pages. Why? Because again, these are pages that personally I'm not indexing, because I don't want to have a huge quantity of links indexed in my site. What I want is quality that Google is going to recognize. There are rumors that the less like Google needs to use the resources for your website, the more efficient you're gonna get your results, because you're doing the bad work for them, and you're telling Google what are the websites that you really want to rank for. So there is really no point in actually in caching all those pages that you're not indexing. So that's why I have decided to exclude all these, and I'm only caching the main pages and post. If we go here to one-up tables, I have selected the pre-build cache automatically. This pretty much what it means is that every single time that you reset your cache, it will start, creating caching the cache automatically, so you don't have to do it manually. And the way I have selected is selecting the moderate one, and this works perfect with me. Again, here you will see also that you have these same options similar to what we had in the exceptions, but I don't want to pre-build these pages because what I said before, these are pages that I don't want to even cache. So don't select these options if you're taking the same strategy I'm taking for my site. In regards to varnish, you can leave this empty, no problem at all. And finally, we move to the CDN options. I especially don't use any CDN. The one that I use is one that actually comes within already configured for switch performance, that is Cloudflare. And here you only have to enable the auto purge. You have to add your email account and Cloudflare, your API key, and then your Cloudflare host, which all these things are really easy to find on your Cloudflare account if you have it. But if you really want to have amazing results, like even going below 1 second or even below half a second on your site, what I would recommend is like then you get a good CDN, and you just like add the full configuration here, and you will see that this will improve your performance by that bigger difference. But if you don't have it, you don't need to. You already will have good results just with this. And again, this is a completely free plugin. It's a freemium version, but the free plugin allows you to do a lot of things, most of the important things. And the only things that it doesn't allow you is just do the image optimizer. But before moving to that side, I just want to explain two more things, and this is what makes this plugin amazing compared to the rest of the competitors. We're going to move to the database optimizer, and here you will see that it gives us the option to delete all the garbage that we have been creating with the metadata, and every single time we modify content, we make changes to our site, it creates a lot of garbage. So what we're going to do is pretty much select I have a backup. Please guys, always do this if you already have a backup of your website, because it could break your site, and I don't want to be one of the responsible telling you to do that. So just have your backup, and as soon as you have that, you will see that you will be able to clear your transients. You will be able to clear like a lot of things that every single time you are modifying and navigating on your site, well, it creates all this information on your database that is totally unnecessary. And yeah, well, it's always good to have it, have a good organization of that. You can do that once a month, and it will be more than enough. Finally, there are like two more options, but this one, the critical font, it's a premium version, which allows you to actually exclude the use of fonts in your library that you're not using. Most of the websites normally use one, two, or even three fonts, but the library of themes and WordPress comes with like 100 and 200 fonts. So what it allows you is to just tell Google, you don't have to load all those fonts that I'm not using. It's really powerful. As it sounds, I have never used it, and I assume that if you get the pro version, I could suggest you guys you use it and you tell me your feedback. But again, I didn't use it because it's not really necessary for what I'm trying to achieve. I already happy with my performance. But if you can, go ahead and do that. And this one, the plugin organizer, I find that it's a really powerful tool that Swift Performance has, that not many other cache plugins allows you. Actually, I don't know any other plugin, cache plugin that allows you to do this. Pretty much what it allows you is to be able to select where do you want your plugins to be loaded. For example, I use Gravity Forms, is my contact form plugin. So when I'm telling to my plugin, to my Catch plugin here, is please activate Gravity Forms on all these URLs, but nothing else. I don't want to load on my front page because I don't have my Gravity form, for example. No? And you can do the same with all the different plugins that you feel they're going to be the same. Like for example, here I have discussed for WordPress. Ideally here, I could just like say don't activate that on the front end and only add it to the matching URLs. That could be all my posts, for example, or for example, add-ons that I use with Gravity Forms again, that I specifically say I only want these add-ons to be loaded on these specific pages. Really powerful, and I think that you will be able to see there is a big increase in the performance thanks to those options too. And that's it, guys. Finally, once you have done this, just run your test. Just use again GTmetrix as your. I suggest to use GTmetrix or Google's page speed insights. Definitely, GTmetrix is going to be the one who is going to be more reliable for your page performance. Google page speed insights. It's different. It's something that's going to give you good insights about things that you can improve, but it's not as reliable on your loaded time and total page size, simply because it won't allow you to select the server, like pretty much like the test server region that you have here. I'm located in Canada, so I have the ability to choose Vancouver as the closest server. Uh, Another site that you can use also is Pingdom. I will add all those links here in at the information of the video, and you can run your tests and tell me what are your results. I will be happy to see which ones are. And yeah, and that's it. Like once you have everything set up, you will see that you will have your list of pages that will be ready to be cached. You will start your pre-build cache, and then it will tell you, it will pretty much like run uh, page by page the optimization and of those pages. And in this symbol, you will see if this is ready or not, and that's it. So again, you have like the full step-by-step guide in the article, but let me know if you have any other questions. I will be happy to answer to all those questions, and also share in your comments, in the comment section, if you like this, and I don't know, any other thing that you can bring here as an insight from your experience. I will be happy to listen to that, and yeah, let's create a conversation. Have a good day.